The BMW 3 Series, the ultimate driving machine that's ticked by thousands of junior executives every year when those company car choice forms are sent round. The current 3 Series has been more and more successful as time has gone on. In fact, last year, just under 42,000 new 3 Series found owners in the UK, and that's more than ever before. One would think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if you're BMW striving for perfection, you go one step further. This is the new BMW 3 Series, which will hit the streets this October, giving us directly a new car distilled from the sponsors of its current owners. The number one complaint has been poor legroom. The response? 1.5 inches added to the overall length and better interior configuration. You complained about the boot space, and that has increased too, with better access and a touch-sensitive boot release. You complained about the relatively puny 1.8 engine. BMW now offer a 16-valve 1.9-litre replacement. Still badged a 318i. It's not exactly a wolf in sheep's clothing, but we're promised a big increase in actual pulling power. To find out more about the thinking behind these and other significant improvements to the already excellent 3 Series, we asked Chief Designer Chris Bangle to show Motor Week his secret design studios exclusively for us.
The people, the process, the place, all comes together to make sure that we have the best product. You need really top professionals in a really top environment so that they see the cars, they perceive the cars, and they work the art into the cars like it should be, because this is art. This is the biggest sculpture that people every day come in contact with. And it's not machine-made BMWs, it's only machine reproduced. It's made from hand by craftsmen and designers like this. Come on with me for a second. We're going to go into the CAS studio, and this is new from us, our brand new computer-aided styling studio, in which we've used the most advanced technologies and we have the world's largest projection system, and the most advanced computers to bring out the best of our, well, what we think are the best trained modelers in the world. It's not that we have to use different types of philosophy to bring out this, we just need different tools. And these tools are the computers that are around us here with the same sort of attention to quality and surface detail from the modelers that we have even on the clay models. It's the same people, different type of tools. And that gives us an environment and a methodology to see and perceive that quality upstream, far upstream in the process, in ways we never had before. Even if, can I have my glasses, please? Thank you.
Welcome.
Well, even if it means we got to use some kind of advanced visionary techniques to really see it. Three-dimensional, virtual, that's one way to perceive a car, but maybe a BMW at best is perceived where the customer sees it, and that's in an outside environment. Well, now we are outside. This is real 3D, and you don't need glasses like this to see it. But taking a car outside and looking at the models during the development, that's something we've done with the E46 like we never did before. Hell, we took this sucker to France in the middle of the winter just so we wouldn't freeze the models and could still see them outside. And that kind of dedication to understanding the surfaces, understanding is everything working from the visual distances that in a real world a customer sees it at. When we talk about design quality from BMW, that's what we mean, that kind of dedication. Many people say BMW cars all look the same, they're all boring, etc. Perhaps a little understanding of our family is really in order here. And there are two approaches to it. One is to say, we'll make everything different. One time we'll make apples, another time we'll make pears. And that's a market-driven philosophy. For every different kind of market, every different type of need, we'll make a different kind of product. They don't have to relate to each other. Another way is to say, well, actually, we have a single philosophy. It's very deep. It drives us to create every product with the same value system, the same goals. And that's more what BMW is all about. This is a how you can do it. This is a why you can do it philosophy. If I had to name two companies, I'd say this is something that when it goes in this direction, it's what BMW is doing. And when something goes in this direction, well, maybe that's what does. I mean, their cars don't really have a lot of relationship to one another, but that's not as important to them as the single driving philosophy is to us. The other aspect of what our cars are like is how well do they relate to the contents of their technical capabilities. And on that scale, if one were to say this is technical innovation, and on the other side one was to say this is aesthetic aesthetic innovation. We all know that there's cars out there that somehow, well, they're real stylish, but there's not a whole lot of beef in them. And there's other cars that have a lot of technical content, but you don't see it and you don't understand it. There's even some cars out there that have neither, and they're just boring. But BMWs have always striven to maintain a certain harmony, a certain balance between what is their technical content, their engineering heart, and what is the aesthetic innovation that communicates that. And when these two things run in harmony, balance, that's maybe what BMW is when it's at its best. And I would submit that when we take a product like the 5, for instance, and go along this path, we're not evolving it. This is a progression. And that's the basic difference between perhaps a critical viewpoint of evolution as a dead-end approach and progression as the best approach to remain consistent and honest to the philosophy. But how does this come over on the customer? Well, this is the toughest part of all, because all of this has a lot of work behind it, and all of it comes out in the final product. And that's what I want to show you on. You can't just do this on a piece of paper on a board. You got to look at the car. So if we go to the car, I think you'll see what I mean. When I talk about harmony, we have consistency. We attempt to bring the family of our cars together with certain styling elements that give a person the knowledge he's dealing with a consistent, deep-rooted philosophical company. And at the same time, we're putting an enormous amount of energy into details that bring across that particular personality of what this car is. On the hand from the E46, the new 3 Series, we think that all the work that's gone into this really beautiful interior and this exterior detailing is what the customer will appreciate as that progression of what he's known to love as a 3 Series into this new world.
The new BMW 3 Series goes on sale in the UK in October. We'll have further reports on this, one of the year's most significant new cars, in future editions of Motor Week.